Farmers, trust is everything. At Genesis Fertilizers, we're not just proposing to build a facility, we're building a future designed for you. With real progress already underway, we're closer to providing Western Canadian farmers with a reliable, locally produced fertilizer supply. Now is the time to take control of your farm's future. Learn more at genesisfertilizers.com/credibility.
Sean Haney here with RealAgriculture.com and Real Ag Radio, Rural Radio 147, Sirius XM. We're at the National Association of Farm Broadcasters meeting in Kansas City, joined right now by Charles Baron with FBN. Charles, how are we doing?
Good to be with you, Sean.
Okay, you got a lot of, obviously, FBN always has a wide swath of stuff that's going on. I want to talk to you about this AI agronomy advisor. Talk about the tool and some of the things that it does.
Well, this past year we built Norm, named after Norman Borlaug, and that's our AI ag advisor. And the way to think about it is instead of Googling something and trying to find the answer and then digging around in websites, you can talk to AI. You can ask it a question in plain English, and it'll give you a response in plain English, and it will do all the research and interpretation of all the information online and specifically trained on specific agronomic models and ag intelligence that FBN's developed to give you a better answer. And so we built Norm. It's free to use for FBN members. You can go on the website, join FBN, or you can use it. It's usually, you can find it on any individual chemical page. There'll be a little button that says Get Help, and you can talk to the AI advisor. Now, Norm can actually pass an agronomy exam. It is the best model in ag. It's been, tested against Google and Facebook and other models. And, so by giving it ag-specific training it on our data as well as other open source or public extension data, government research data, university data, etc., it is able to give better responses and better answers to growers than other AI models out there like ChatGPT.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, what's the difference between me going into ChatGPT and having a pretty good prompt and getting some advice from just like a ChatGPT versus something like Norm?
The basic difference is ChatGPT is going to be just going to be typically going off what's on the internet, and there's a lot of specific ag knowledge or specific ag logic which would not be available on the internet. So let's take an example like chemical mixing logic, or product compatibility logic, or reading chemical labels. So we've specifically trained Norm on well over 6,000 chemical labels on the market. So Norm can help a grower interpret a product, go through the complex task of going through the label and understanding what the legal restrictions are, what your plant back interval is going to be, what your rain fast period is going to be, how to mix that product, which adjuvants can go with that product. So it can be a full-service, basically, chem advisor to you, and certainly gets you that frontline kind of question when a grower's got a hot question in the field or late at night. And what a lot of farmers often say is, "Hey, this is great. It's 10 at night or 11 at night. I don't want to call my agronomist. I can go on FBN. I can use Norm, and I can figure out most, if not all, of what I need to know."
Do you see it replacing people or being more of an assister, like a tool for people to use to get to get answers for customers faster?
It's going to augment people, right? It's not going to replace the need for human interpretation or advice or some of the more subjective decision making that you have to make, right? But it is like having a superpower, okay? Because now at 24 hours a day, right on your app, or you can even text with Norm and chat with it via text message. You can use it to answer questions about anything. So we've trained it on chemistry because we have the most data around that. But you can use it on machinery. You can use it on seed. You can use it on animal health and livestock issues. You can use it on grain marketing, and it's just tremendous. So it's like having a PhD assistant just in your pocket that you can talk to whenever you want for free. It's pretty remarkable. And again, AI is just going to get better and better as models get smarter and as we learn more and as we're better able to train them and adapt information. So this is the early innings, and you just say, okay, it's now like I've got a PhD in my pocket who I can go to, and what's that going to be in a year when we've been able to advance the models a little further and train it on better data.
What's been the uptake from farmers and feedback?
Very, very, lots of curiosity. So we've had well over 22,000 questions to Norm from growers, which is really tremendous. And you'll see, when farmers interact with it, they'll, ask many questions. One of the biggest things I would just recommend to people when you use AI is it's not Google, where you put in an answer and then you find websites. You keep talking to it, and if you don't get the initial response you're looking for, you keep asking it, or you keep pushing it, and you say, hey, Norm, no, this isn't what I'm looking for. Be more specific, right? And it'll say, okay, thank you. Here's the more specific answer, right? So you can be rude to the AI and don't feel bad about it.
There's nothing better than having that kind of a rude conversation sometimes. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, and seeing some of the answers. It's a lot of fun. I do that with the Snapchat AI all the time. Okay, one of the questions I wanted to ask you about it is it text only, or can we upload pictures, like, identification of a weed, things like that?
Right now it's text only. You can actually text message with Norm, or you go on fbn.com/asknorm, /Norm. And you can talk to it. Again, you can go on FBN to any of the chemical pages, and you'll find a button for Norm, or you find it via the FBN Analyze section, where it's in there as Norm.
We're talking to Charles Baron from FBN. Charles, one of the things I wanted to ask you about as well is farmers' uptake to buying crop protection products and seed online. Okay, this is the wheelhouse that FBN lives in. Have you seen an increase in business over the past number of years?
Well, absolutely. FBN's grown, every year, and we've grown our volume of products that purchased, so I think farmers are more and more used to doing it now. Certainly when we started about 7 years ago, and in Canada, I think this will be our 7th year. Yeah. It was more of a novel concept, and am I going to feel comfortable spending $100,000 or $50,000 online? And now, as people have seen, hey, this really works. And when I click buy, then a truck shows up to my farm. Then I think there's less apprehension about that. This is going to work as I expected. In the early days, people I think were very nervous about. Oh, geez, I want to talk to somebody before I spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, right? We've seen $1 million shopping carts that people have just clicked and checked out. So I think people's mentality has come a long way of comfort around it. We've built a phenomenal logistics network behind FBN.
That's the key.
That's the whole key. For me to have confidence in that purchase, you have to know that it's going to show up as you expect, when you expect. And when you go on the FBN website, you'll see when that product can get to the farm. And that's the same expectation that people have developed, from going on Amazon and seeing that, okay, that can get to me tomorrow or in 2 days. And so we've built that same kind of logic. Now that's really, really hard to do, and no one else in agriculture can do that, because we have to have deep intelligence in our inventory, our warehouses, where those products are, if a product is on its way from international and going to be arriving soon, and then where are the locations of our trucks and what our shipping schedules are going to be. So you have to have all that intelligence, and then what happens is every time a farm logs on, we rerun those calculations, which is basically it's hundreds of thousands of optimizations to say, okay, the fastest time we can get that product to you is tomorrow or 3 days from now or 4 days from now. So we try to be as accurate as possible and give farmers as much confidence when they go to purchase.
Do you feel the current economic environment in agriculture, whether that's Canada or the U.S., is it more conducive to your operation?
Well, I think right now, here's what being online and providing transparency really helps growers with. One, it provides an enormous amount of trust and confidence that this is the best deal that we're basically putting forward or able to put forward. And I think with a lot of farmers, it's how do I know that I'm getting a good price when I'm getting quoted from somebody, right? If I'm not shopping around or I don't know how much competition I actually have locally. So number one, go on and drill down on FBN, and you will see how those prices compare to what you have. Number two, we have a whole new system called our shopping list, where you upload an invoice from your current supplier, and we will build out a quote for you. You'll build out a savings analysis, and you'll see exactly how much you can save in near real time with FBN. And then click, you can add all that product to the cart, and it'll show you you're going to save $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, and then boom, you can make that decision. So I think the most important thing when times are tight, like they are right now, is do your homework, sharpen your pencil, make sure you're going on FBN. You're taking advantage of our price transparency, and you're taking advantage of our intelligence tools, and then knowing that you can purchase with a lot of confidence with FBN. We have 0% financing programs. We try to make it as easy as possible for a grower to buy early, lock in the best prices of the year, and when your input costs are locked in, then you can market with a lot more certainty throughout the year.
And you got some Cyber Days going on right now too. This is like Black Friday for a period of time.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So we started a couple years ago, Cyber Monday, Black Friday. We said, hey, why don't farmers have Cyber Monday? And so it almost started as a joke for us because we thought, well, maybe people will like this. We did it. It was a huge hit. It's become a giant thing for us every year. So in Canada, this is running, through December 11th. So all of November into December. But take advantage of it early because the best deals are kind of while supplies last, and so prices may inch up throughout the sale. So definitely take advantage of those early programs. There's great deals on offer. There's 0% financing. Our glufosinate price, our glyphosate price is as low as $5.04 per liter, and we got glufosinate as low as $4.32 a liter. So some pretty phenomenal pricing in the market right now.
And those Cyber Days are going on in Canada and the U.S. right now?
In Canada, it's going on right now. In the U.S., it kicks off next week.
Perfect stuff. Okay, Charles, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks, Sean. Good to be with you.